The Headless Marys are a dysfunctional group.
Kind of like that one time per year when you see your extended family at Christmas.
A speeding freight train hurtling with abandon towards an unknown destination while somehow still being in service.
Bit like a bunch of kids playing on the playground.
A big dysfunctional family.
Adventuring misfits who often poke their noses into business that isn't theirs.
The most unlikely and unexpected group of powerful misfits that probably don't belong together.
You have your weird second cousin who is obsessed with birds.
They're motley, they are ragtag, they are somewhat wild.
He's brought along his daughter's best friend.
People will get off the train and then get back on the train at a later date, but the train never slows down.
You've seen her flirting with your brother-in-law who's so drunk that he's trying to fight a sprinkler.
We don't always see eye to eye.
Meanwhile, your religious aunt is muttering under her breath to a god no one's heard of before.
When they are all on the same page about what the rules are and what game they're playing, they have a great time and get on really well.
Inconsistent, but ultimately they are a force for good.
Your uncle's trying to spike the eggnog.
We'll happily cater for each other and have each other's backs. It's pretty special that way.
They've done some pretty impressive things. They've saved a forest from an evil magician.
We're called the Headless Marys because we cut the head off it was a sorceress?
Sorceress named Mary who had a real problem with trees.
We engaged in a really tough, really long battle against this Umber Hulk who was guarding a dungeon.
Rescuing a baby dragon from the grips of an organized crime syndicate called the Four Winds.
They have killed a vampire.
Very sexy vampire.
And then we walked a few steps into the dungeon and ran back out because it was too scary.
They've insulted and mortally wounded obnoxious lordlings.
We have saved the Forest of Argon so many times.
Granted the boon of a magical boat that can turn invisible and fly and insult you.
It's pretty bleak, pretty dark that way that we named our group after cutting off someone's head.
Winning an epic invisible battle in which we were all invisible and we were also on a ship that was invisible.
Got trapped in a mysterious kind of hut that had a whole bunch of Neenish tarts and pastries.
Spent a lot of time eating magic mushrooms.
We famously spent a lot of a campaign playing Spin the Bottle.
Again, he was very sexy.
My character Yori is not impressed by any of those things.
We've had so many people come in and out of the group. Each one we love dearly, each one we hate drastically.
I play a character named Avery, who is a high elf rogue assassin. She's super badass, she trusts no one, and she can do a little bit of magic.
Barwin is a hill dwarf cleric, and she believes that good prevails and that generally she knows what is best. And often she does. Not always.
I would describe Buckle as an old soul who is terrified of failure. He loves nothing more than routine and at the moment has absolutely none.
Caliban is a fey-touched Kenku rogue, a crow person, basically. He cannot speak his own language because that's a Kenku thing, so he uses a lot of mimicry, which makes him quite a random individual and quite an oddity amongst the people of Eston. He also utilises the assistance of his familiar, a sprite called Peas Blossom, who, when Caliban can't, he speaks for him. Caliban is quick to shoot and loves shiny things.
Yori is a halfling fighter with curly blonde hair and a cherubic face and a giant battle axe. She was a town guard for a long time, but due to recent circumstances has lost that position and is searching for a new purpose.
Padraig Dangerfield is the lovable oaf that you take home to mama because he's so polite and so kind and loves deeply, just loves the people around him and just wants to impress and just wants to do the right thing, which doesn't always happen. He's so charming.
Ravelor Rav, as he's known by to some. Big Daddy. I describe him as like a bisexual Elizabethan backstreet boy. 12 inches and a smile. He's kind of like if Timothée Chalamet and Chris Hemsworth had a baby with Hamlet, and that baby was really into kink. Also, he has a donkey's tail.
That's how we roll.